What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global back here with another video, and the Patriots have signed yet another offensive tackle, really trying to fill that void of Trent Brown. They're really trying to establish yet again a top 3 offensive line. So they've signed offensive tackle Jared Veldheer. And if you are subscribed to me, which if you are not yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I always post these Patriots videos, updates, opinions, highlighting different players, just a bunch of different stuff. You guys are going to want to know when signings and trades and rumors are happening. So go subscribe now. But I left on my community tab that I was going to be making a video because the Patriots had just signed a player, an offensive lineman player, and it is not just a depth piece. And this is the guy I'm talking about. So the Patriots signed him to a 1-year deal worth, get this, a whopping $6.5 million. That's $6.5 million, and if any of you think that they are paying $6.5 million for a depth piece for a guy who is fighting for a roster spot and is just going to get cut at the end of the season, then you're wrong. Now, this actually comes as the Patriots had a workout with him. They brought him in just about a week ago for a workout, but no signing was made up until today, and it actually makes a lot of sense because the next wave of free agency is going to start occurring, and that is because I told you guys this in a previous video, a recent video, where I said that expect the Patriots to start making signings because we are now at the point where teams can sign any free agents but not have to give up a comp pick. So basically what that means is that teams can get certain comp picks, certain draft picks for the following year, depending on where their free agents departed with, separate teams, which I'm going to make a video about for the Patriots in the upcoming days. But from now on, any free agent that hits the open market can be signed by any team, and teams will not have to worry about giving a draft pick up for them. And it makes a lot of sense because if you look at what they are giving Jared Veldheer, they would have had to give a comp pick up for him. Something that this guy brings is definitely veteran experience. This guy's 31 years old, so you're not getting a short-term guy. This is a guy who is getting older, as he is a former third-round pick out of the 2010 NFL draft by the Oakland Raiders. I really like about Jared Veldheer, and if you guys know me, you guys know my opinions on offensive linemen. I'm very big on big, bulky offensive linemen, people like Trent Brown, and that's exactly what you're getting with Jared Veldheer. He is 6'8", 322 pounds, as where Trent Brown is also 6'8", but he is 359 pounds. So really, you are getting very similar builds between this guy and Trent Brown. And obviously Trent Brown was very good for the Patriots before obviously taking a ginormous contract with the Oakland Raiders. Now, I will say this guy has been around the league in a few different teams. Like I said, he was drafted by the Oakland Raiders in 2010, and he stayed there until about 2013, which he then went to the Arizona Cardinals for 2014 to 2017, and then they were involved in a trade with the Denver Broncos where he spent 2018 season. And the big reason that he has been shipped off, team to team to team, really is because of his inability to stay healthy. That is a big issue with this guy, and I'll get to that a little bit more to what that means for him and his future with the Patriots, but this is a guy who has a lot of trouble staying healthy. His year in 2016 ended after just 8 games due to a tricep injury. A year later, he was put on the injured reserve, this time after he played 13 games, this time though because of an ankle injury. Then this past season with the Denver Broncos, he missed 3 of the Broncos games after he hurt his knee. So really, he just has not had a lot of luck, and that's really been his problem. It is not that this guy is a bad offensive lineman. It's his just problem to stay healthy, to stay on the field. Another issue that this guy has, and it really isn't necessarily his fault, is that teams do not keep him at the same position. Now, of course, with offensive tackles, you have, a right tackle and a left tackle. And there is a good amount of offensive tackles that can play both right and left tackles. A lot of times teams ask their tackles to be able to be versatile to play both, but a lot of times these offensive tackles are better playing at a right or left tackle because people don't realize that there is a difference. There is a mechanical difference between playing that right tackle and that left tackle. You can't just shimmy into both and it be the exact same way. And that's kind of been one of Valdir's problems, is that he's been asked to play going from right tackle to quickly switching to left tackle and switching back and forth and back and forth. And then every other issue from there comes down to his hand placement. It really comes down to mechanics and just the way he gets off the snap, but more specifically, where he places his hands on the defender. Really, that is it. He's a big guy. He is a strong guy. He has the ability to be a very good starter. It just comes down to staying healthy and learning the right hand placements. And he's going to be coming down to New England, where obviously they have the best coaching staff. They have Dante Scarnecchia, an offensive lineman coach who just seems like a magician, can turn really any guy into an amazing starter. So if anyone will be able to work on his mechanics, it is going to be Dante Scarnecchia, and I have full faith in him that he will get his hand placement corrected and will be able to teach him how to get off the line in a correct manner. If he is able to do that, then he becomes a very deadly offensive tackle. I really like that they're bringing a guy in who has such experience. He has a combined 121 regular season and playoff games over his 9 seasons in the league. And he is a guy who primarily does line up at the left tackle. Like I mentioned, the teams have really switched him from left tackle to right tackle, so he has had a good amount of experience at right tackle and even center actually early on in his career, but I don't see the Patriots really using him as a center by any means. But it shows he's versatile. But it also shows that chances are New England is going to try to place him more at that left tackle position. Now, he's getting such a big contract. I mean, in terms of duration, it's not just a one-year deal, obviously more of a prove-it type of deal, but $6.5 million. Now, as of now, the exact terms are not said. To me, it will be curious on what exactly the terms are. And what I mean by that is, do they have a chance to opt out if he gets injured? Can they cut him without resulting in any dead money? I think that will be the billion-dollar question, and that will really showcase his future with the Patriots again, because he does have such an issue staying healthy. But the $6.5 million in itself shows how invested they are in him, how much they actually want to use him in the scheme, in the plays that they are using right now. And obviously the team felt that they needed to add some type of depth, which to me is surprising. Now, when they made this signing, I was like, all right, it's a good, depth signing. I don't expect it to be much, but again, the $6.5 million to me was a huge shock, but a huge realization, and shows that they want this guy. They want this guy bad. But it raises the eyebrow now. I mean, you just drafted Yanni Kajust, the offensive tackle that you selected in the 3rd round of this previous draft. And you have former 1st round pick from 2 drafts ago in Isaiah Wynn. Now, again, he is coming off of that season-ending injury that that occurred during a few snaps into his first preseason game, his NFL debut with the Patriots. And we have heard a little bit of a concern about, will he be ready for the start of the season? So really, as of now, it doesn't look too promising for someone like an Isaiah Wynn. I mean, the Patriots have brought in a whole lot of depth at offensive tackle, but as of now, you are looking at Marcus Cannon. He would more than likely be your right tackle. Then at left tackle, you kind of have that question of that Isaiah Wynn or Valdir. And then you have Yannick Just, who definitely is going to make the team. He has a lot of great things to work with. A 3rd round pick. Obviously, the Patriots are not going to just cut him, and he would not be able to revert back to the practice squad, as a team would definitely pick him up. But I think the Patriots will look to try to develop him more with time, and Yanni will be more of a backup type of guy. But obviously, that leaves more of an Isaiah Wynn at either put on the IR or either Isaiah Wynn or Valdir being a backup. But I just don't see them paying $6.5 million for a backup. Now, as for me, the other offensive tackles they've signed, such as Nick Thurman or Cedric Lane, those are just depth pieces, guys they'll bring in just to see what's up, camp bodies, but those are definitely guys that I see getting cut. This is now going to be, guys, a training camp matchup, a competition to now watch, and it will be very interesting. I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm very excited to see what the Patriots do with that left tackle job yet again for the second consecutive season. We had it last season with Isaiah Wynn and that Trent Brown. Now it's Isaiah Wynn and Valdir. So I'm very excited for this training camp. But what are your guys' thoughts on this signing? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you guys like and subscribe, as helps me, the channel, and even you guys out very, very much. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody who knows when we go to the Patriots Global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.